Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Merging Local Tradition and Modern Innovation in Furniture, Furniture for World Design. My name is Christopher Lai. I am the Director of France, Spain, and Portugal for the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, a nonprofit organization aimed at facilitating cross-border business partnership across all segments, including, of course, design and creative industries. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Alan and May and the team at the Hong Kong Furniture and Decoration Trade Association for curating today's session, and also these fantastic design pieces in the area behind us. So please make sure you check it out afterwards. I also like to thank the Culture and Creative Industries Development Agency of the Hong Kong SAR government for their sponsorship and support to this initiative. And of course, thank you to MNO and for all of you for being here with us today. So design is not a luxury. There are, of course, designs for luxury, just as there are designs for all segments or facets or walks of life. In fact, I would say that design is a necessity. It represents progress, innovation, and evolution. It brings together industries, communities, cultures, and of course, timelines. But bringing together the past and present is more than just about combining clean lines with traditional motifs. So today we have an esteemed panel of design masters and rising talents who will be sharing their insights on balancing between cultural influences with modern techniques and materials so as to create furniture pieces that both honor heritage and meet contemporary needs. So to my left, we have Mr. Rafael Cuevas, a trained cabinet maker and co-founder of Lin and Raphael. He began his career creating bespoke furniture pieces and small series items, and in 2019, along with his partner Lin, they began to design furniture items that redefine the boundary between craftsmanship and technology, bringing unique projects to life. To his left is Mr. Tommy Lee, creative director of Tommy Lee Design Workshop. Tommy is a renowned brand consultant. He has achieved great success across Hong Kong, China, Japan, Italy. He has won more than 650 awards, I think, Tommy, across your career. I'm not sure where you find the time. And his design reflects the philosophy of balance, merging functionality with artistry to create transformative experiences. Next to Tommy, we have Mr. Joey Ho, design partner from PAL Design Group. Joey is a visionary designer. His design philosophy is based on inspiring creativity and unlocking possibilities in life. He has an expansive portfolio of spanning corporate, residential, educational, and hospitality, and many other fields. And he just reflecting his ability to adapt and innovate. And his work extends internationally, showcasing a global perspective, combining creativity and purpose. And last but not least, we have Robin Hosker from Wind Design Lab, an industrial design and research lab that works with startups and industrial clients to create innovative products for everyday life. So I think I will stop there now. Obviously, you're not here to hear me speak. So our design talents here will be showcasing and sharing their philosophies and visions. And we'll begin with Joey. So over to you, Joey.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So to kick off, okay, I want to share with you my perspective about making a furniture, because I think the inspiration, instead of going really straightforward to the so-called culture, I want to escape from that. So the first thing I think about furniture is the relationship, a new bonding. So I think I want to draw something more pure. So I look into kids. So I look at this collection. It's more inspiration from the kids, because they have no rules, and they look furniture as a toy or on the object is something different. So can I get certain inspiration from this group, more innocent and more playful? So from there, I have this so-called daydream. So things can be imaginative, you know. It's like a crowd that you have no form, you create, you know, it changes according to your mood. So I think that is fantastic. So I'm thinking, can I go along that direction and take out something along the way? So that's how I started this collection. So literally, I draw this boundary, like, you know, this circle boundary, to make this not really a sofa. It's actually not really a, a bed, you know. It's just a territory for the kids to play and to mess around, and you can create different conditions. So that's what I'm thinking. Can we relook at furniture in a new way, especially from like I say, something more pure, like you know, get away that the idea of aesthetics or even so-called cultural bonding. And so I'm thinking, like, can I do that? So from here, I start to experiment. So I'm trying to see some of this messiness within a control, a component. So from this, I jump into something like, can the furniture be more humor, or even it's a joke, you know, to me. So from this pitch, I make this chair, which is can be fun and it's funny. So with this kind of interaction, I start to see there will be more joyful, you know, interaction with our daily life, and that, in a way, I think I want to discover even more, like as a furniture, a new relationship that we can create. So, like, as we can see, interaction not only merely as to give you certain function, but maybe it provides a new meaning to you. So the flipping as a book, like we touch every day, I make it like a lounge chair. So every page, you feel the texture, you feel the warmth, you know, and you also have, you know, depend on your mood. So by flipping all these pages, you interact directly with the material again. And it's a form that is so familiar to me because I like books a lot. So I think that is something I try to relate to our daily life from a different perspective. So as we go on, of course, I always like stories, you know, from our our you know, a lot of our ancient stories, you know, which is have these fantasies. So all these fantasies, when you brought to the daily users, I try to create one of my characters I like very much, the Monkey King, and I put it like, for kids, can they become something, not only having their meal, but they can learn from that, you know, like something very serious about, you know, the Confucius, you know, see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil, and that is something subtly, you know, in emerged in this Monkey King, yeah, and also a simple cup, you know, which it, when you finish, when you drink it, you see the smile. You know, it's just a very simple gesture. But I think the good thing is when you engage with these items, you start to feel engaged in the motion, or even in the doing it action. So that's what I felt on the whole series about this daydream. And finally, I want to show you. Um, uh, sorry, it's it playing the sound as well. So the last part, I just want to show you the space that I engage in my own profession, and how I relate to the products in the same way that we try to create a possibility for different usage in terms of even the space, that not just creating possibilities, but we are creating new way of interaction. So from education to play, we try to bring in new aesthetics as what we also try to plug in to normal life. So we simulate nature, we carve, some fun and also different possibility by looking at like the trees as a book, and we show different possibilities like combining adults atmosphere into kids. So overall, we realize actually what we really need is not another new aesthetic, but maybe more touch to our daily life and also bring more colors to our yeah, day-to-day life. That's what I'm mostly concerned of. Yes. Okay. So basically, this is yeah, my presentation. Thank you. Thank you.
So I heard no rules and head in the clouds. That's a fantastic philosophy for life. You also mentioned about humor, and humor is, of course, a great interlocutor or equalizer amongst cultures. Can you explain a bit more about your philosophy and the process you go through in terms of integrating cultural influences into your designs?
I think I rather not to bring out culture straightforwardly because I'm a kind of mix, you know, because I was trained as based on Western education system because I was trained as an architect, you know, and but at the same time I was grew up in both in Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. So in a way, I kind of find it's easier for me to do what I think please me, and everything is already inside me. So I don't have to try to squeeze something so-called very cultural. So I think that's what I felt. Maybe you can find some Oriental or maybe some my Western influence for my education in my work, but I think that's it. So as part of the culture, it's already immersed inside. So I think that is more, you know, it's how I express myself. So that I think is more natural. Yes, thank you.
I think that fully describes the Monkey King collection. So thank you, Joey. Next, we will pass the floor over to Tommy. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. I'm Tommy. I didn't bring a lot of slides today, because the association that allowed me only 5 slides. I say, come on, man, you're more than this, No, Joey is we partner more than 20 years. Yeah, we're quite close. I know him. The first time when I get this project, something really bothered me because I know the places in Paris, yeah, the exhibition, and will come from Asia. And I really think, of course, I work in Italy too. That's why I know the cultural difference between the Hong Kong and the Paris. So when we design a furniture, normally the Asian, especially the Chinese, Hong Kong, they really love to use some material like wood or stone. And I really think it is, for me, this is usual. And this is hard to create something that is really inspire the other people, really, try to surprise them. No, I don't think so. And for the people like Hong Kong, we like to tell a story behind our work. And I'm not trying to create something, a practical furniture. We try to make it something like a collection. Yeah, because in my day job, I'm a brand consultant major in the luxury good. So that's why the first in my mind is we design a furniture and is a collector items. So that's why, yeah, you will say this is no wood, this is no stone. Actually, it's a stainless steel, very shiny one. This is like a masterpiece, like a decoration art. But for the Western old Eastern people, I find we all like to drink. For us, I like to drink tea, and the people in Paris like coffee. So that's why we try to move a tea house. This look like a table, but we will find, don't they have, this area actually is a metallic mountain, yeah. And this kind of mountain, actually, you will find that the hole behind it. Oh. And this is not only a mountain, this is an incense burner. So we have an incense, we put it in the hole and burn it. Of course, we can't do it here under the regulation. All the flammable stuff is banned. We use dry ice at the first night. I really want to show you after, because we have a video. Once you burn the incense, the smoke will flow down from the mountain, and just like a morning sight, a morning vision, is really, we call the emissary of sand. But the right-hand side, we'll find the other two, oh, sorry. You will find these two square. Actually, we can cook the coffee or tea over there. This is really the very lifestyle, very attitude of Haitian. In the morning, open the window, look at the mountain with the cloud, and then make some tea. And the most interesting is, on the table, we have a long sound bar. We're recording a lot of natural sound, like storm, like raining, like winning, like even like the birds singing. And everybody want to sit down, have a tea, and maybe you have your meditation. It's easy. So under the table, of course, it's a stainless steel. It's a little bit cold and hard. But on the table, we have a very soft carpet. And the pattern, actually, we designed like a Kyoto, the white sand. If you've been to Kyoto, you will understand, you will know it. A lot of temple, they have that kind of white sand pattern. We try to make it like that kind of atmosphere, because just like I mentioned, it's a balance. Now, hard and soft, Eastern and Western. And this is not a furniture anymore. So even the chair, this is a camping chair. Normally, the camping chair they make by wood and nothing cheap, easy handling. But we make it in the aluminum and polish in a very shining stainless steel. So the whole thing, I hate to say, it sounds like you're showing off something. But for the collection, the people, they did that they wanted. They will appreciate it. Look at that. I think the carpet, though, if we make it, it all depends on the size of the table. We have a different kind of size of carpet. And of course, we have a lot of accessories. It's a metallic one, the fulu and watermelon. And once you touch it, because the tray, I think, is a very crucial. If you use a wooden tray or plastic tray, it will spoil the feeling and the chemistry of that table. So I'm so happy because this time I worked with one of the major Hong Kong supplier, Alan Kong, and I designed. I give you a very hard question. I said, "Can you do that?" And because the craftsmanship standard, we need to up to the global standard, because everything you can touch it, you can look at quite closely, and I think it's not perfect, but I will give it its 99 now. Of course, I have the other assignment they want me to design a set of tableware, and sounds like nothing special, but I want to tell you, you will find this is a pattern, a graphics of a lot of different kind of plant, and we print it in gold, a real gold. So it's a bit luxury, but the most important is the story behind the plant. They have their own characters. The characters does not come from the plant, because when I check the book, each plant they have a characters exactly like human being. Something is a balance, something is optimistic, and something is hibiscus. That's really good. If you want to send it, it's like a gift to your friend. you can calculate what kind of his characters and pick the right one. So the whole set, I really, this is more than 35 pieces. So this is under the short period, we produce, we design and produce it, and I need to appreciate, our supplier again. Don't worry, yeah, this will be a long speech. Yeah, thank you. If any question, I will answer later.
Thank you. I love that table. I love that mountain. If I ever throw a party, I'll be very popular. I love it when you talked about storytelling. I think that's very important for design. So from that perspective, what's the process you go through in injecting, say, Eastern influences into your collections?
I think I will describe in a two way. One is the materials. Yeah, that's why for the Eastern, the wood, the ivory and ebony is their favorite. That's why at the first time, in my mind, I tried to skip it. Yeah, and metal, metallic stuff for a lot of users is just not easy. Yeah, but it's just for the display or is a focus, or is something like that. I think they can accept. Especially, I say, this is not only a furniture. We try to make it like a collection, like our piece. It's like an installation. The metallic, I think, is because I find, just like today, I find that people would like to touring around here, but especially they like to use the iPhone touring around too. And this is the best for the picture capturing. And storytelling, I think, is very important because this is inject something special in your work. If it's only a form, if it's only a design, it's easy turn to be a practical product. And the value is quite limited, and the life of it is not long lasting. So that's why we try to not create a story. And because of the concept, actually, they need to have a story behind. So everything about is a very philosophy about sand. You can meditate with it. It's not a tool anymore. And it will show some of the spirit of human being, especially, if you find the Asian Chinese or Asian, they really focus is not the material value. They really focus the spiritual thing. So that's why I mentioned one word called meditation. And especially for the people in the city, why they like to have a tea, why they like to have listen some new age music, because they need a balance. Yeah, life is, I can't say it's so stressed, but everybody, they have a different kind of pressure. So we need balance. And we try to find the balance between the commercial and art. And this is what we think about at the first time.
So balance and from the emissary of Zen, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you, Tommy. Next, we have Raphael. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Raphael. I'm a cabinet maker and co-founder of studio of Lynn and Raphael. So based in Paris. So it's not. Oh, sorry. So Lynn is designer, and we work together for combine new technology and tradition craftsmanships. So today I'll explain our creative approach, which combines modern technology and craftsmanships. So here we can see a photo taken during creation of our pieces in our workshop, as well as finished pieces with marquetry and 3D prints. So for us, new technology don't replace craftsmanship and it enhances it. So with tools like 3D printing, we explore complex forms that are difficult to make otherwise, like a brass part on the right. So for us, it's the new technology. It's just the tools. What truly bring to life a piece is an artisan eyes and intuition. For example, on the left, it's we're combining 3D print with authentical assembly of marquetry called frisage. Lean-based airwork on research into complex patterns that are difficult to make without help of 3D print. And she then adapts this pattern into different projects. For example, on the two photos, it's the same pattern used. On the left is integrate into decorative panel with marquetry, and the 3D printing is in nylon. So on the left is integrate with metallic finishes on the armchair create in collaboration with GM Style for HKA Fair project, which is displayed at this exhibition. So our process is progressive. We always begin by explore a specific technique of craftsmanship, like a sculpture or marquetry. The first type is often a simple prototype for taste, shape, material, or just idea. After that, we can create a most important and customized piece. And we can change the type of wood, material, or finishes if we need. For us, the tradition, it's a true source of inspiration. It connects us to history, and it gives an authenticity to our creation. So on the left, it's the first piece which combine 3D print and sculpture, and on the right, on the left, and on the right, it's 3D printing with marquetry. We've applied to several pieces, and here the 3D print is also serve as a handle. The research and development, it's a really important part of our work because many possibilities to find. We spend a lot of time to test different material, different technique to craftsmanship. For example, by working with 3D printed brass at the bottom photo, or we experimenting with lacquered finishing on the 3D part, we find a new texture and unique contrast. So for us, all prototype is a step, represent a step toward new idea and new combination. For us, it's an ongoing process. So for example, on the left, we contemporized traditional marquetry. We move it from 2D to 3D, and then our furniture are representing like relief painting. So And oh, sorry. Just for conclude, for us, the combining tradition and innovation means use the best of parts to both, and while remembering that humans are at the central place to the creative process. Thank you, and sorry for my English.
Thank you, Raphael. Can you just maybe talk a little bit more about, you talk about, integrating craftsmanship with modern techniques. So what's the process you go through in creating those patterns, when you have an idea? How do you go about thinking of what techniques or what materials to use?
I think the most important is to make lot of taste or really large finishes, materials, or combining maybe one pattern it's possible to use with sculpture, maybe another, no, it's not aesthetic. It's important to don't close the door and test all it's possible. Because the processes are unlimited.
Great. I think that's keeping an open mind or open book, I think Joey mentioned earlier. So finally, we have Robin. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Robin. I'm founder of Wind Design Lab. We're based in Berlin. And yes, I'm happy to talk a little bit today about our practice and how we merge basically new technologies with old materials and dive into basically a mix of materials and processes in order to create new aesthetics and find out also about new ways of production to preserve on the one hand also old techniques and production methods, but also to contextualize them new so they can continue living in our everyday life, because that changes. So what I brought is one of our projects we showed last year here at Maison Object at the Rising Talent. It was an installation where the robot was like as you see here, was folding these paper shades. And the process was really interesting because we tried to explore in what way we can, on the one side, teach and program a robot to do foldings as good as artisanal structures, but also to break the boundaries and to create basically shapes that can be a variation that is otherwise very hard to produce, either only producible with a lot of time and by a single person, but not really scalable. So our interest was in what we can learn out of the transformation of letting a machine do basically artisanal work. But on the other side, also seeing how we can push a little bit the boundary of what you could do with your hand. So in this case, we explored basically a simple new idea of production as well, because this is for us one of the main challenges in bringing basically old traditions to our time today. Is producing locally means a lot of time and costs that are really hard to finance nowadays in, for example, also Western environments. Production moves away because there's simply no space, time and money to finance a lot of the good craftsmanship. So the question is, how can the knowledge and also the work with these kind of materials live on in our culture? So that was a question we asked, and that's why we developed the process. And at Wind, we are really keen on developing basically finding through the process new forms and possibilities how to develop shapes. So paper, because our background is in product design, paper is usually the start of the story, because you try out things, you try out volumes, you try out also things that like find new aesthetic qualities that already the paper can tell you a lot about. Like it's a great way to start basically shapes and volumes. But it was also interesting for us because we are limited in the time and the capacities we can do as a studio in creating varieties and shapes. So also the process we developed actually helped us to think further in paper, not only for the thing we showed before. And that was also the start for the collaboration with the Hong Kong Trade Furniture Association, because we started to develop the collaboration in paper. So we started to explore shapes and how we could actually transfer from paper mock-ups into traditional manufacturing of metal, and also bring metal to transfer the qualities and the aesthetics we find in the shape of how the light and the shadow plays with the form, and to transfer this into a product. So this was, I guess, the starting point for the collaboration, and with Sunwell, and we developed a very nice prototype. But it was also a question for us. Prototypes and these things we produce are a way to communicate our ideas, and it's actually the only thing that makes a collaboration over 1,000 of miles even possible, because you have ideas, you can communicate, you can show, other people can even try them. Like nowadays with new technologies like 3D printing, you can simulate over 1,000 of miles and then explore together maybe more complex shapes you wouldn't be able to do before. So this was the way we worked together with our producer. We tried out things in paper, and then we gave them files, and they were able to adapt that and transfer this into a metal piece. And this was for us a very nice way of working together, because it can blur boundaries, right? It can blur language, it can blur distance, it can also blur basically what our understanding of how the product should be is, because then when the manufacturer was starting to produce it, we had a lot of talk about, because we wanted to develop a lighting series, we talked about how this would then live, for example, in an Asian home. So in an Eastern culture, there's different ways of sitting at a table. So our understanding of how lighting systems should work need to adapt as well within the process. And that's why you have to do these iterations and try out things, and eventually come up to forms that also not only work here, but also in another scenario. And for us, so we like this transition back and forth between trying out processes, finding very new things, for example, like folding with a robot, but then coming from this as a source of inspiration again back to normal products. And this is, I think, we designers, we also have to stay curious in a way that we have to invent things, how we come to new shapes, ideas, scenarios. We have to understand and listen to how culture is changing. But in the other way, we also have to understand how we can produce in the future and how we can actually interact with these products. So what we ended up, and this product is also in the booth behind us on show, is a very nice merge of like more traditional paper shapes transformed into metal products, into a scenario that could also live in different cultures and different homes, and is still an affordable, so to say, luxury item. So it's something that has a uniqueness, because there has been a lot of development in it in finding these kind of forms, but it's actually a very affordable and normal product that could live in normal homes. So this is important to us, that it feeds back and can be distributed then again, and not just stay in one very small sector in a specific culture, but can also be transferred. And this is, I would say, basically the philosophy we like to continue working with.
Thank you, Robin. I know you work with a lot of brands, some very famous ones. I won't name drop them here, but when you're working with them, what's the process you go through in terms of combining tradition and innovation so that to create these, culturally resonant but forward-thinking products?
Yeah, that's a good question. So a lot of brands have challenges nowadays. They need to be more sustainable. They need to be maybe innovative. And lots of times it's actually we found that looking back is a way to move forward. So in the past you can find a lot of principles that were great. They just worked in a certain context. They're just not scalable. Or they were done in a very specific and time-consuming way, or they used certain materials. And now when we look back, we find materials, they already had solutions 100 years ago. For example, in heating, like storing heat, but combining this, for example, my favorite example is the tile stove. It used to be a normal home heating system, but you had to fire that tile stove, and it took like a ritual to fire it. You burned wood, it was producing, smoke. Nowadays you can power that tile stove with solar energy, for example, and it becomes a new way to interact with an old technology, because that heat from the tile stove is very valuable. There's a good quality in it. It's way different than normal heating systems, for example. And this is a nice way that you can actually have this revival of old and very traditional knowledge, but you have to pair it correctly. in order for brands to even make it a reality today, I would say.
Looking back to move forward, that's another fantastic philosophy. So we still have a few minutes here. I'd like to see if we have any members of the audience who would like to raise some questions for our speakers. Okay, perhaps it's still a little bit early. Oh, actually here you go. Just behind you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer from Home Journal. Thank you so much for the lovely sharing and some impressive work you've got there. My question direct to both Tommy and Joey. I'd like to know what were the biggest challenges, when you're designing the work and from the production process maybe, and the biggest takeaways from the projects. Thank you.
Actually, because I'm a spatial designer, I mean, I do a lot of interior design. So, but when it comes to furniture, I think it seems to be like much easier, but it's wrong. I realize it's more difficult because it's a very open-ended. And normally I question myself, there are so many pieces, nice pieces out there. Why should I create another one? So with this question, it put me a lot of pressure. So I keep thinking why I want to, make this baby come out from my creation. So first thing that I need to overcome is this why I want to make this piece. And throughout the process, I realized a lot of thoughts need to be combined with really craftsmanship and also some really traditional techniques. So with that, I realized we need to work very closely with the manufacturer and to realize our design. So I think that is two parts that I really felt that as a designer, I kind of have this learning attitude towards every piece. That's how I approach that design. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's a very good question because when we start to work with this project, something is really in my mind is I want to make a furniture or collection, our piece, because the life is quite different. If you only make a furniture, the life cycle is only maybe 5 years and will destroy or disappear. Last night, actually, I been around in the gallery at the Fifth Avenue. They call Carpenter Workshop. And we find a lot of wooden furniture. And of course, this all come from 20, 30, or 40. But they treat it like not a furniture, it's art. From the price, I know. Yeah. One of the drawer, metal one, 200,000 euro. Wow. And this is really, remind me when we designed the long table, we try to make it, the first thing, this is not expensive. We try to make the life long lasting. This is what I'm thinking. If we only make just like a fast fashion, a furniture, I really think the life cycle is quite short today. And secondly, I really think if this is as art, maybe the value and the life a little bit longer. Just like the last night when I stepped into the Carpenter Workshop, the gallery. And that's why craftsmanship, of course, this is something I really, I will put it in my top priority, but the concept, we try to make it between the art and furniture. This is what for me, this is not easy. Yeah, because I'm a guy who worked in the market more than 30 years, and I know the buyer, the consumer, what they need. And I know how come a lot of design at the end will disappear in half or a quarter generation, because it's just a tool. And that's what I'm thinking about. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy from Hong Kong Media, Manpower Weekly. Thank you so much for the great speech. And I'm so happy that Hong Kong Works can be shown in Paris. The question is for Woman and also Rachel. It's about when I work in Maison Object, so many objects here. And can I ask why? How can designers convince themselves I have to make this stuff? Thank you.
That's a deep question. It's really hard.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. That's a very good question, and you should always think about it. Like, you shouldn't make more just to make more, or just because you want something. I mean, curiosity always plays a role in. You have to, like you said, you have to overcome this point of why you do something. So it's curiosity, but you have to find also another reason. So there needs to reason you want to transfer something, you want to bring something back to life, or you want to make something more sustainable, better materials, longer lasting. So you have to find the impact in order to then make a redesign. Otherwise, there's enough good products out there like that are already long lasting. So I would say, yes, you should start with this. This is the first question you should ask.
Raphael?
I think it's really different public for our pieces and for the all pieces on Maison Object. Lot of different public come here, so it's interesting to find a good public which is interesting for bespoke furniture, for innovative furniture, and find yes, the good way.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's session. I'm sure our esteemed panel here has given you a lot of food for thought, how to think about design holistically, how to find the right balance for you and your philosophy. Just remember to check out their designs in the area behind us, just over there. But before that, I'd like to invite you to join me in giving a big round of applause to our speakers. Thank you.